Blog Talk Radio. Get ready for success. Leadership Strategies for Women is a show dedicated to providing practical and valuable strategies for emerging female leaders of today. It's your time to get inspired, motivated, and challenged to achieve your best. And now, here's leadership speaker and coach, Ellie Nieves.
Hello and welcome to Leadership Strategies for Women Radio. My name is Ellie Nieves and I'm a women's leadership speaker and coach. I'm also the founder and president of Leadership Strategies for Women. I work with and speak for companies, organizations, and associations that want to develop their emerging leaders into effective managers and executives. I also coach women who want to achieve more both personally and professionally. Through my speaking and coaching programs, I help individuals and organizations to develop leadership skills and set strategic goals that will help them to achieve their vision for success. To learn more, please visit my website at leadershipstrategiesforwomen.com or run a search on Facebook for Leadership Strategies for Women. The title of our show today is Charting Your Destination, and our guest is Charmaine Hammond. Charmaine is a transformational speaker, facilitator, radio host, and best-selling author. Charmaine has a master's degree in conflict analysis and management. Her career began as a correctional officer to later managing young offender facilities in Ontario. Later specializing in dispute resolution, Charmaine was a mediator and educator in the field of dispute resolution, facilitating and mediating some of the most complex corporate disputes. She spearheaded the development of several not-for-profit community organizations and a number of programs for communities and workplaces. Charmaine is known as the Bounce Forward expert, skilled in helping leaders and teams identify the barriers to success and excellence and building teams and capacity to move beyond barriers. As an international speaker, author, and consultant, Charmaine has worked in 5 countries to date. Charmaine is hired frequently as a speaker and facilitator to build skills in communication, resilience, team building, and courageous dialogue. She has co-authored a series of ebooks for team and workplace effectiveness and has also independently authored several ebooks and products related to professional and personal development. Charmaine's wildly popular book, Bounce Forward, has helped thousands of leaders and team members build their teams and reach higher levels of success. Charmaine, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
Well, I'm really anxious to have our listeners learn more about you and the work that you do. And I've shared some information already, but I would love to hear more about you in your own words.
Wow. I'll start off with years and years and years ago. In fact, when I was a little girl, 4 years old, I was painfully shy. And that was a big transformation to go through in life, being so shy that, in fact, I wouldn't even talk to people. I just kept to myself. And it wasn't until high school, grade 9 English class, that my English teacher saw a spark in me when I talked about writing. And so she gave us some assignments to write personal stories, and then we had to present them in front of the class. And so Ms. Ersticatus was her name. I really attribute her to helping bring me out of my shell as a shy girl who now earns her living being a speaker around the world. But she also ignited a passion in me for writing. And it's been a really interesting journey over the past few years, writing and speaking and being able to help people transform their lives.
And it's such a powerful way. I think that we take for granted how the written word can really impact someone's life and can really make some strong connections for people so that they can move themselves to the next level.
You bet. That's so true. And it's been like that for me as well, always going on my journey of self-growth and my own transformation. The written word has really provided me with a lot of self-development work that I've done over the years.
And Charmaine, you co-authored a book titled GPS Your Life, Charting Your Destination and Getting There in Style. Can you tell us about the book?
I'd love to. I'm really excited because GPS Your Best Life actually just came out. It's a book I co-authored with a friend of mine, Deborah Kozowski, and it has an interesting start to it. We met for a cup of coffee, and I don't know if you've had these cup of coffees, but the meeting lasts like 3 hours long. And so one quick cup of coffee turned into the plan to write a book for women. And GPS Your Best Life is really, it stands for Getting Positioned for Success. That's what we mean when we say GPS Your Best Life. But the book is broken into 3 distinct sections. The first is getting crystal clear on your goals and what you want to do, be, and have in your life. The second part takes the reader through the process of mapping out their plan to get there. And then the third part helps readers learn to navigate around all the obstacles and barriers that seem to just inevitably pop up in life. And, of course, it concludes with celebrating your success once you get there.
Well, Charmaine, sounds like that cup of coffee was really worth it.
It was one of the best cups of coffee I ever had. Deborah and I often laugh about that because we've had many other cups of coffee that seem to take the same pattern 3 hours later, and a really great idea.
That's great. That's great. So walk us through some of these methods that you suggest in the book to help women map their destinations. You mentioned getting crystal clear on your goals, mapping out a plan, navigating obstacles, and then celebrating those successes. Can you share some of those specific strategies?
Sure. Once people get crystal clear on their goals, the importance of writing our goals down is really critical to the success. And the clearer that you can be in writing the goals, the more focused you'll be on taking inspired action to get there. So we suggest writing them down. And, in fact, one of the strategies that I've personally used for many years that really helps me stay focused, because I get distracted by BSOs, bright, shiny objects. So they take me off my path to my goals. Writing my goals down on index cards or recipe cards and keeping them in my glove box in the car, in my purse, in my laptop bag, and at home in the washroom where I do my hair and makeup in the morning. That's really one way to keep me focused on my goals on a daily basis, no matter wherever I am.
Wonderful. That's a great strategy. I like to keep my goals written down as well, and I'm on the road just as much as you are, traveling with the speaking and the work that I do. And I found that I've been keeping a lot of my goals in my Evernote app on my iPhone app, where I can access it from my computer, I can access it from my iPad, and it's just been wonderful. It's a great tool to be able to tap into that resource, when you find yourself getting off track. It's right there. You can tap into it and remind yourself of what those goals are. Make sure that every day you're taking steps towards them.
Yeah, I love that strategy, and it's a great way to blend technology that we use every day into staying focused. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And Charmaine, you're also known as the bounce forward expert. Why is that?
I kind of gave myself that title many years ago, and how it actually came about for me is when I worked as a correctional officer. So this is going back to my very first career. What I saw both with the inmates and with the staff were a number of people who were not happy and who clearly were stuck. They were stuck in relationships not serving them well. They were stuck in conflict that hadn't been resolved. And many of them were stuck in patterns of behavior and actions that just ended them up in trouble and of course, for the inmates, in jail. And so I saw this process happening of people being stuck. And then I moved into my next career, which was a mediator. I mediated disputes in the workplace. And I saw the same thing that I saw in jail. I saw leaders and team members who were stuck in conflict, stuck in old patterns of behavior. And so resilience is typically defined as the ability to bounce back after life's challenges, conflict, adversity, struggles. And when I was seeing all these people being stuck, I thought there's got to be more to resilience than simply bouncing back. That's sort of just like hanging on or survival. And that's when I came up with the term, it's about bouncing forward. So when life throws you a curveball, a crisis, a challenge, if we think about it as we've fallen down, we stand up, brush our knees off, stand tall, and lean in and start moving. And through that process of moving and taking action, we grow and transform. So that's where I came up with the term bounce forward.
Well, I love that phrase, leaning into the challenge. I think that is so important. And when we normally see a challenge, it might be that we desire or that we fear the challenge, right? So we desire to bounce back instead or to somehow remove ourselves from the process. But leaning into it, understanding that, hey, this is part of you growing, right? This is how we sharpen ourselves and we actually lean into the challenge.
Exactly, and I think the way that you frame that is so beautiful because it talks about the importance of changing our mindset. So when we have these challenges that happen for every single one of us in life, whether it's challenges in our workplace, challenges with our leadership, challenges with resources, and in our personal life, we experience these difficulties. But when we lean in, it means that we're open to learning, to a new perspective, and to growing. And when we sort of bounce back, it means we're often meeting the challenge with resistance, which just makes it so much more difficult. So I really love this process of bouncing forward because with it brings a sense of energy and movement and change.
Well, Charmaine, it's clear and it's evident that you have a passion for helping women to be successful, but you are also successful in your own right. You shared a great story about how you came out of your shell even though you were painfully shy as a child, and here you are now helping women transform their lives. Can you share 3 leadership strategies that have helped you to get ahead in your own career and life?
Oh, what a great question. I'll share my favorite 3, and they all start with the letter C. The 3 best leadership skills and techniques that I've learned through life that I've actually applied consistently, so these are sort of the ones I keep in my back pocket, is to be a connector, a champion, and a communicator. And so if we break those down, one of the ways that I have reached success quicker is by people connecting me with individuals and business owners and leaders that I need to know. And I learned long ago that when you do the same thing, you become connected to people you need to know. So when you share your influence with others, when you act as a connector, when you introduce people powerfully to those that you know and other individuals need to know, it creates what my friend Sean Duperrin calls a cycle of reciprocity, where other people start doing the same thing for you. And I've met some of the most amazing people that way. So that's about being a connector. The second part, which is my absolute favorite strategy, is being a champion for other people. And it's sort of along the lines of being a connector, but really to be a champion for other people is every day I look through my Facebook friends and my circle of influence, my colleagues, my clients, and I choose people who I could be a champion for that day. So one example is a couple of days ago, a friend of mine was launching her new book. So I took it upon myself to just be completely immersed that day in being a champion for her and her book. What inevitably happens is it comes back to you tenfold, and people become champions for you as well. So being a champion, and it's a lot of fun. And the third one is the importance of communication, clear communication, in fact. And the more that we can clearly communicate our message and how we can serve others and help others, the better other people are able to help us as well.
I love that. Thank you for sharing those. And we just had a conversation not too long ago about being challenged and leaning into the challenge. What have been some of the challenges that you've leaned into that have helped you to strive and attain your goals?
Oh, my gosh. How long do we have? I have a whole list. Some of the ones that, part of always growing and moving is we experience these challenges and we kind of brush our forehead off and say, woo, never want to go through that again. But some of the challenges that I've had to lean into was when I first opened my business 16 years ago, we grew too fast. In fact, I grew without a plan. Our company just had so much work coming at it, which is a great position to be in when you have a plan to grow. And I had never thought about creating a growth plan. And now I tell other women that I work with, we need a couple of plans. We need a growth plan, a marketing plan, and we also need a succession plan. And I learned all of those the hard way. Some other challenges I've had to lean into is rebranding. We've rebranded our business a couple of times, and each time we've rebranded, I've had to get really clear on the business model and how I want to show up in my business, really, as a leader, as a woman, and as a business owner. And so rebranding has been an interesting challenge and has brought some learning along the way. And then also how to cope in business in a changing environment financially and so forth. So when the economics have changed in society, we've had to learn, of course, to lean into that and find ways to run our business in a smart way. And thankfully, we've been able to do that, and some of our best years have actually come during the economic downturn. So we know that what we're doing is working because we're getting through it very successfully.
That's great. So, Charmaine, we're going to start wrapping up soon, but before we leave our listeners, I would love for you to share your 4-step bounce forward approach.
Oh, wonderful. So bounce forward, if you think of it as a bit of a model, one of the first parts about bouncing forward is about building resilience. And resilience is sort of like a light switch. Our resilience goes off and on throughout the day. And so I always suggest to people, do 2 or 3 actions a day to boost your resilience. And those can be as simple as getting enough sleep, eating healthy, drinking water, and getting exercise. But it also includes doing activities every day that rev your engine, that give you joy, and sort of refilling your tank. So resilience and being resilient every day, that way when life's challenges happen, you've got the energy and the passion to be able to cope through it and to lean into it. The second part of Bounce Forward is about what I call teamwork by design. And that's by building our team. Even for leaders who are a solopreneur, we still purchase services from people. We might purchase design services or web services or the services of a virtual assistant. So it's really important for us to pick our team wisely and to invest in our team because they're the foundation that help us lean into the challenges as they surface. And the third part of bouncing forward is around communication and what I call courageous dialogue. And courageous dialogue is really about having those conversations that matter most and are mostly avoided. So it might be saying no to someone. It might be giving somebody some sensitive feedback about something. It might be asking for the sale, closing the sale. And it could be the conversations of forgiveness when we've made a mistake and we need to let something go ourselves so that we can move forward. So having those conversations that matter most and are mostly avoided, courageous dialogue. And then the fourth, which is my personal favorite, is called the ask, A-S-K, asking for help. And I know that so many women, so many leaders struggle through situations because of their discomfort asking for help. And so I've made it my mission, actually, to be a daily asker. Every day I reach out and I ask somebody for something. That might be some feedback, some guidance, resources, a suggestion. And what I've learned is that as I've become comfortable asking for help, others are coming to me more and asking how I can help them as well. And it creates this beautiful back and forth of giving and receiving, which is a great skill set in business and leadership. So those are the 4 aspects of the Bounce Forward model.
I love that model. I'm definitely going to take some of that advice and apply it into my own life, Charmaine. I really appreciate that. So, Charmaine, what's next for you?
Oh, what's next for me? Well, I've been bitten by the bug of writing. I didn't plan on being an author. I'm this accidental author. So I've got 2 more books that are in the works that I'll be launching in 2013. And actually my biggest passion right now is that we're actually launching in 2013 a global kindness mission. I'm all about bringing some kindness back into our workplaces, and so we have a number of fun activities for businesses and for leaders, for women, around building kindness into their work. And what we've seen firsthand is that when we really start those conscious conversations of kindness and and start demonstrating that through our business, which has always been a foundation of how we work, again, it comes back to you in so many ways. It creates this beautiful ripple effect of kindness that just gets where many, many lives are touched. And so that's our big juicy goal for 2013.
Nice. I wish you a lot of success with that.
Thank you.
So, Charmaine, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Well, if they're interested in the GPS Your Best Life book, really simple website, gpsyourbestlife.com. And for those who want to connect with me about our business strategies, they can reach me at my website, which is hammondgroup.biz. That's HAMMONDGROUP.biz, B-I-Z.
Thank you so much, Charmaine. I really appreciated this short time that we had together. I loved listening to your insights and your strategies, and we just really appreciate you taking the time today to talk to our listeners and share those leadership tips and strategies that are going to help them to chart their destination.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just want to echo that I really appreciate what you are doing to help women in the business community and to really help women in leadership roles. I so appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you, Charmaine. I appreciate it. So all my listeners, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to visit the newly relaunched Leadership Strategies for Women webpage at leadershipstrategiesforwomen.com or connect with me on Facebook. Just run a search for Leadership Strategies for Women. Until next time, God bless.